I love about it, man. Closest thing to saltwater fishing right here. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You're back with T-Tac Living, and I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in with me today. But today's idea of the video is basically how to catch a carp. Now, as you can see in the background, this is a super big lake. Generally on lakes, you got a lot of boat traffic, which is going to have play in carp fishing, simply because the number one thing that I'm going to be doing today to attract these carp is in this little bucket right here. I have dog food. This is not a certain type of dog food. However, if you're gonna bait or throw out bait for these carp to get them to come up, I highly advise that you get cat food. Dog food and cat food. Dog food will attract carp. Cat food gets them in way quicker. I don't know if it's because there's a different scent. I've got one rod, which is just a medium, little spinning reel. And then I've got half a loaf of bread right here, and that's gonna be the bait of choice. So what I'm gonna do, the wind is blowing this way right here. So I'm gonna sit on this point, and we're on a point right now. I'm gonna throw this bait out so it'll float down. So by the time that these carp do come up, they're probably gonna be right in this area right here, and I'll be able to throw out some bread and possibly catch a carp. So you guys stay tuned. Hopefully we can get on the carp, and hopefully you guys have some takeaways. If you've never caught a carp, they're not a trophy fish by no means, but they're super fun to catch. They fight super hard, and in times where boat traffic is super high and you're on the bank, I believe carp fishing is one of the funnest type of fishing you can possibly do. So stay tuned and let's get on them. So like I said, over here to the right, that's where I'm projecting to catch the fish, to get them to come up. There's a lot of geese over here, so we've got to try to the best of our advantage to get these things away from the dog food, because they will come and eat everything and scare the carp away, and that's not what we want. This is no good. They're already coming over here. We're gonna go ahead and bait up a hook. Even though there's no carp coming out yet, it's always good to have a line out. I usually use a wacky hook or a J hook, just like that right there. Super good hook to use. Certain bread is a lot easier to ball up. Now this bread right here, a little tough. With bread like this, you gotta kind of get it balled up. Get a little bit of water on it, and then start shaping it. I like using a bigger ball just because those carp are more prevalent to see a bigger ball. Always like to have that barb sticking out just a tad bit. You can see it sticking out there. All right, so we got our bread ball on right there. And before any fish start blowing up, I'm just gonna go ahead and cast it out there. Boom. As simple as that. Let that thing sink. I usually free float them just because carp don't always swim on the bottom. If you put a weight on there, it gets stuck in that grass. Now we got it set up. Everything is set up, so I got my rod right here. As soon as we start seeing that line run, that means we know that we're getting a bite from a carp, sometimes from bluegill. But realistically, if the carp are out here, I'll definitely get a bite from them, for sure. All right guys, so we're about 30 minutes into it. Haven't seen any blow ups. seen a single sign of a carp, so we're just gonna throw out a little more dog food. See if we can lure them in. And it may be this dog food. A lot of times, like I said, I like using cat food. It gets them drawn in. For some reason, I believe cat food has a more scent to it, which generally gets the fish more fired up. But we'll see. It's probably been about 30 minutes, so we'll see what happens. So what I'm gonna do, I just seen a carp blow up out there, and I'll tell you what I do. When I see a carp blow up, and we don't even have any bread on there anymore, but I'm gonna grab this bread and I'm instantly gonna throw it right where I see the carp blowing up. Yeah, they're way out there. Get this little moist like this. Those carp are blowing up out there too. So when I see the carp blowing up way out there, I'm gonna throw it way out there. Just let that thing sit. Let it marinate. See if we can get a fish on. Just had one. We just had one pick it up. There he is right there.
Really?
I think it's a catfish. He's already in here.
Nice.
So did a little camera switch. This fish already had it. Hooked him right in the mouth. He's already gassed out.
Walk him down with the dog. Get a good pick of it.
I am.
You can walk him down, bro.
So what I'm gonna do, guys, is walk this fish down so we can get him out. Usually these carp, they fight when they see you is when they really start fighting hard. I don't think this one's seen me yet, to be honest with you. This one's a small one. Probably about 15 to 20 pounds. When we get up to these bushes, I'm gonna free spool them, let them go back out a little bit, and then reel them back in. Just like this right here. Get them out a little ways. There's a lot of rocks right here. We're gonna get on this dock so we can actually grab this fish. But this is how to catch a carp. It's exactly what I was hoping for. Once this fish sees me, he's gonna take off. He hasn't even seen me yet. Here he is. I wanna tell you guys, when you do catch carp, make sure you treat these fish very delicately, because you can already tell I hooked this one perfect and he's already bleeding. It's just the way a carp works.
That's it. Put him on a cracker.
Right under the gills.
Yeah,
Just like that right there, guys. Don't grab their gills.
Don't damage the
Perfect hook set.
fire.
It's a small one right there, boys. Look at that hook set, man. Oh my gosh. And that's what we're talking about right there. Nice little 20 pounder. Don't let him go.
Yeah, man. I just broke the meat for flipping lip. Man, it looks like a tarpon, dude. Freaking awesome. Oh gosh, it's gone. It's gone.
Here's one right here. We just hooked up. Did not get the hook set on. This one literally just took it and ran with it. This one's a bigger fish, for sure. I don't know if it's a carp or a catfish. It's got a head shake to it for sure. It's deep. Definitely got a head shake. Let's see if it's a carp or a cat. Carp, big carp, big carp, big carp. Look at that one. Yes, sir, baby. It's a big one. That one's bigger. And you see how they bleed. I mean, they just absolutely bleed all over the place. Same thing. Let this fish swim out a little bit, so we can get them over these bushes. And I love how these carp are just casually swimming right along with me, right where I want them to go. It's a big fish right there, buddy. Once we get them on this dock, man. This one's a bigger fish right here. Whoo! Let that drag sing, baby. This one's, go ahead and take my shoes off for this one. This one's a bigger fish, which means he's definitely gonna run with it. Getting hot, boy, getting hot. Cool down, buddy. That's what I love about it, man. Closest thing to saltwater fishing right here. That water's cold. Oh yeah, he's about to run on it. As soon as I go to grab him, he's gonna run. Try to keep him away from that dock as soon as he sees me. Yeah, that's a good looking fish right there, buddy. There he goes again. There he goes again. I'm telling you, every time you go to try to grab these things, man, they just freak out. About a 30 pounder right there. We're gonna walk him down. Walk this fish down all the way to the beach so we're not gonna lose him. Yeah. I mean, these fish are fierce, baby. I love it. Love it. Barely hooked. All right, so here's how we're gonna do this. She's barely hooked. Barely hooked, brother. Barely hooked. Stud monkey. Stud monkey, I'm telling you. She's barely hooked too. Listen to that drag ripping. Oh my gosh. That is insane. She's barely hooked, guys. I've got to get this fish in. Barely hooked. Fighting her super soft. Barely hooked, dude. She's barely hooked, brother. Big fish. There we go. Boy, 30-pounder right there, baby. I know. And this guy's is the importance of fighting these fish.
Ow!
It's a big one.
Hold on, let me take a picture. Can I take a picture?
I'm not letting it go.
Okay.
I make YouTube videos, so I'm gonna have to go over here real quick before you.
Oh my god.
That's what a giant carp looks like right there, guys. She is bleeding. Right now I'm about to show you guys how to revive this carp. Get her back. So she's bleeding super bad. We're just gonna let some water flow through her gills. Until she's ready to go. Come on, girl. Show me what you got. That's how you guys catch a carp right there. Whew.